So I'm going to be honest, this is easily in like the top 2 most insane things that have ever happened to me in my life. Hello and welcome to FTTR, I am Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about TNA Press Pass. That's right, there is a big conference held with the TNA World Champion Joe Hendry before Rebellion, which is on this Sunday, and I was invited to be a part of it. So first off, before we get into hit subscribe, like and everything like that, thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone who put this together, everyone who has helped me get to where I am right now, everyone from TNA, everyone who has noticed my videos and just allowed me to be a part of this, which is absolutely insane to think about. Thank you all so much. I love you all. Thank you. Now, before we dive into everything that happened, please hit subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down below, and I'll try and reply to every single one of them as we dive into this. So yes, Press Pass, TNA Press Pass is an event that is going to be airing. It should probably be up by the time this video is out, and it was a sit-down, interview-style press conference with the TNA World Champion, Joe Hendry, where people from the wrestling media can all ask questions to the champ. The way a press conference works, I think it's a great idea. I like it to other press conferences because I think the in-person thing, like doing it on Zoom, doing it remote, I thought was pretty cool. Like, Zoom is such a cool old app. It's so cool. And yeah, it was just interesting to hear the world champion talk about WrestleMania, talk about some of his roots in the Brit Rest scene, talk about songs, Eurovision. It was a really interesting hour of questions and a really cool interview with Joe Hendry. Shout out to Tom Hannafan as well, who did a great job hosting. This was awesome. This was so much fun. Now, I would like to preference, there was a lot of people here. I didn't get to ask my question, so it's fine. It's totally fine. There's a lot of people. There's probably a lot of people who are better equipped to ask the TNA World Champion questions. People like Metro and Last Word on Sports. You guys are like businesses. I'm just a man in his bedroom. But it was insane. It was absolutely surreal, and I got real imposter syndrome being there and sort of just taking in everything that Joe was saying. I thought it was insane. It was absolutely insane to be a part of, and I hope I'm a part of more moving forward, because yeah, it means I get to talk about this. I get to talk about some of the cool stuff that Joe said. So shall we dive into some of the stuff that Joe Hendry said? And the biggest takeaway for me was Eurovision.
I'm going to tell you, there's some controversy surrounding this one.
As someone from the UK, Eurovision is a big thing over here, and Joe Hendry was obviously putting his song forward, putting forward to be a representative for Eurovision, and seemingly that got shut down potentially by the BBC. He didn't further elaborate on that, but it seems like the Eurovision dreams for Joe Hendry seemingly gone. They have seemingly gone and disappeared into the ether, which is a shame, because I think Eurovision, we're not very good at Eurovision, the UK. I think we near enough always come last, and I believe in Joe Hendry as a song that could have potentially got us to the winning place, potentially got us to the winning destination at Eurovision. So that was a shame to see. Something else I really loved in this interview was how much Joe Hendry put over man like Darius and Leon Slater.
But if you're a wrestling fan, the standard of independent shows in the UK is unbelievable. Yes, it was amazing to see a lot of my colleagues from the UK, but someone I want to give a shout out to right now is someone called Darius, who we've had on our shows. I really think this guy has something. I think I have a feeling that if we open the door for him a little bit, he's going to kick it down. So if TNA, if you're listening, we got to give this guy a shot here.
As a big Brit Rest fan, as a big Brit Rest boy, they are two of my favourites. Boisterous Behaviour, they are so good together. I was there when Leon Slater signed his TNA contract, and one of the highest pieces of praise that could be said came out of Joe Hendry's mouth, in which he called Leon Slater like this generation's AJ Styles. Like, he said he's that good. He's going to be that on top of everything. He's got everything he can do to make it, to be a world champ, to be a TNA world champ, to be just a world champion in any promotion, and to claim that X division. So I really loved hearing Joe put over a lot of the people in the Brit Rest scene, and I hope we see more cross the line in future. Then we could talk about what Joe said about his WrestleMania appearance. Now, I honestly think that, like, people are probably exaggerating the loss to Randy Orton. I think it is, like, it's a loss at the end of the day, but it's like he says in this interview, like, he got the biggest reaction from probably anyone on the show when he turned up. Like, the reaction and the pop that he got at WrestleMania was insane. I also love that he talked about that he had to keep the secret of him appearing at WrestleMania for a week. He was doing like press for the TNA event as well. I think it was Turning Point.
This was a military operation. You know how rare it is, Bill, for secrets not to get out in professional wrestling. We weren't even in the betting odds. That is how well this was kept a secret, and I'm extremely proud of that. That's so hard to do in professional wrestling.
Press for that, and he had to keep it a secret. I love hearing stories about that, like when people get cast as things. I think it was Daisy Ridley, when she got cast in Star Wars, she had to keep the secret for 6 months or something like that. I love hearing about how they have to keep these secrets, and how, like, it's top secret in the WWE and TNA. It was a very tightly run ship, and they didn't want any leaks of this to come out. That was fascinating to hear. Throughout the interview as well, Joe also put over his match coming this weekend, where he's taking on Frankie Kazarian and Ethan Page for the TNA World title. I think this will actually be a damn fine match. I really like Ethan Page. I think he's incredibly underrated in the ring. Kazarian, of course, is awesome, and Joe Hendry is Joe Hendry. So I actually think this is going to be a sleeper banger. I think people are sleeping on this match a little too much. I haven't heard people talk about it too much, but I do think this has the potential to be one of the better triple threats that we see in a long time. Like, we've had the main event of WrestleMania and the opener of WrestleMania Night 2. I think this could be in consideration if given the time and given the sort of passion that Joe put out in this interview, talking about how he feels about the match. I think this could really be something special, and I think him and Kazarian and Ethan Page, he talked about the history that they've had. He talked about how, like, potentially the possibility of him making a song, making an album as well, and being a little bit too busy to sort of put out another song. But it shows that he had passion. He had passion for this feud, and that is one of the key takeaway from this, is that Joe Hendry has insane passion for this business. The final thing that I do want to touch on from my time in this meeting is something that I really found interesting. It was one of the last questions. It was sort of the advice that Joe Hendry would give to up-and-coming British wrestlers, and I found his answer to be really fascinating.
So my advice is to embrace your other interests as well as professional wrestling, especially like if you are young, right? Like Leon Slater is one of one, right? He's in a unique situation where he is like just unbelievably talented. Not everybody is going to be able to emulate that. A lot of other people, like myself included, you will have to look to your other interests about things that make you unique. So, for example, for me, it was the music. If I just focused on wrestling, I wouldn't have had that to elevate me to the next level. I also did, I got my black belt in judo. I won some championships in amateur wrestling as well. That gave me different elements to what I was doing and life experience as well. So I would say don't neglect your other interests. Obviously, there comes a time where you have to have singular focus, but have other, don't shy away from your other talents as well.
And that is to keep up with your other interests. I think that is something that's so important, particularly for someone like me who sort of invests so much time into this and into the content creation thing, that sometimes it can get a bit overwhelming. You can face burnout. Like, other interests and keeping your other hobbies alive is something that is key and is important, because if you're just stuck with that one thing, you can face burnout, you can face sort of doing it because you have to, you lose that passion. So keeping the other interests, he talked about how he was focused on judo and sort of writing and amateur wrestling as well, and some of the other stuff that he did. So I think that was one of probably my key takeaway from this, and one of the things that really resonated with me coming out of this interview was the way Joe talked about focusing on other things as well, and not necessarily putting your everything into that one basket. It's okay to have other interests and to pursue other things as well. So those are just some of the highlights and some of the takeaways that I've taken away from this interview that I got to be a part of. It was, again, insanely cool, insanely awesome. TNA Rebellion is this Sunday, and if you want to check it out, you can get a month free by going down and using the promo code. Using the promo code, you can get a month free of TNA. This is included. You can do it. You can do it. You just have to believe. So yeah, check out TNA Rebellion. Tell them that I sent you. That would mean a lot. If you tell TNA that I sent you, that would mean a lot. Check it out. Check out Joe Hendry. I'm going to put all the details. I'm going to put the link to the interview in the comments below as well. Check it out. Check it all out. Thank you all ever so much for your support. Thank you, TNA. Thank you to everyone who had me at the event and helped me get to where I am. I've said it 1,000 times. It is not lost on me how special this moment is right now. Thank you all ever so much, and have a nice day.